power stance. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And as usual, I have with me the beautiful, the amazing, the eyes of the galaxy, queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
Eyes of the Galaxy.
That was a new one.
I like that. What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. Happy to be joining you on a Saturday morning. A little disoriented.
Where am I?
I did my meditation like 20 minutes ago. I was in complete zen. I'm like, who am I? Where are we? And yes. But we're here.
Yes, we are.
We're here.
Uh-huh.
It's a little cloudy.
It's a lot.
Gotta give you the weather report.
Yep.
It's a little cloudy, but we're here drinking our tea. We got our peak tea, which is a pu'er tea, fermented green tea. We're gonna talk about what we're drinking.
Yeah, I'm just looking confused.
We switched it up from coconut water this week. We're doing a pu'er tea, which is a fermented green tea. Very good for adding beneficial beneficial bacteria to your gut.
Thank you, my personal health coach. I appreciate you. Real quick. So last week, we asked y'all if I'm allowed to eat on the podcast. I just want to address this really quickly because I know y'all are worried. I know y'all wanted this answer. We asked y'all, am I allowed to drink and eat on this podcast? So it was an overwhelming no to me eating your podcast. All right, so I appreciate everyone who tuned in and gave their answer, though you gave the wrong answer. But I will no longer eat on the podcast. The people have spoken. All right. Now the drinking was mixed.
Okay.
Drinking is allowed apparently, but okay. But we should have separate cups. All right. And the separate cups came from Grandy. What's up, Grandy? Oh, love Grandy. #1 fan. We appreciate you. Separate cups came from Grandy. So as you can see today, Queen, go ahead and pull it up.
It's a little hot.
Yeah, don't drink it. Don't hurt yourself.
No, I mean the cup itself, because it was just in the microwave.
We got 2 cups. We appreciate
we're not married.
We are married. Hold on now. Put on false
that
rumors
was sarcasm.
Put on false rumors out there. So speaking of marriage, right? It's one very funny romantic. I don't know if it's called a romantic comedy or romantic tragedy, but a thin line between love and hate. Right? That's kind of the
between love and hate. Come on, young buck. You don't know about that? You don't know about that?
Help. Send help. Long story short, today we have a marriage coaching couple who's also married themselves. And their tagline, their brand is called Married Into Crazy. They have it, right? I feel like that was cool.
Yes,
that was good. So we're going to bring them on here to talk about their own journey, their own marriage, what the crazy method is when it comes to marriage coaching, and how they balance love and business. Queen, are you ready?
Ready.
Well, without further vocals and further ado, let's get into the episode.
Get into the episode.
We're out. There it is. Let's go ahead and welcome Lovey and Snooks, the hosts of the Married Into Crazy podcast. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
We are blessed and stressed a little bit, a little sprinkle of stress in there, but more so blessed.
Got that.
Amen. I hear you. Look, we're enjoying the intro. I was like, okay.
Always trying to get better every single year. Just so y'all know, episode 1 looked nothing like this. No. y'all know the progression. Episode 1 looked nothing like that.
Did we have a handshake?
Did we have a handshake by episode 1? I don't even know. I feel like we probably did. Anyway, if you're watching this live, go ahead and give this a like, share it. We appreciate it. As Snooks and Lovey make up their handshake live.
Kind of jealous. Come on.
Love it.
No,
but if y'all don't, yeah. Oh, there we go. Come on.
Next time you see us, we're gonna have our handshake. It's gonna have to be a little different kind of dap.
Love it. There you go. If y'all don't take one nugget from this, watching every married couple, go ahead and make up a handshake. Right? Just go ahead and do it. But as we get into it, can we learn a little bit about who y'all are? So if y'all don't mind doing a short intro of Lovey and Snooks, I'm sure there's first of all a backstory to these nicknames, and then if we can get into how you two lovely people got to meet each other.
Okay, remember we only got 45 minutes, so.
Wow, really? Didn't go, Mr. Unabridged.
So she was up on the pole, and then I was only down to change.
I can change your life.
She said, I don't accept change, but I said, but I got a credit card.
Wow.
No, for real though. We actually met.
Silly.
We had mutual friends and family that knew each other, and they kept saying that we should meet. And I was a single parent. Snooks was, single, and we both were getting out of horrible relationships, so we didn't want anything to do.
I have been out, so let's just say that.
And we want nothing to do with a relationship, period. And we got tricked into meeting each other. So it was kind of a blind date or a blind bamboozlement.
It wasn't a date. It was an absolute bamboozle. So the lady that his mom's best friend worked with me, and she kept telling me for like 6 months, oh, you got to meet this guy, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Come to find out, on his side, they were saying the same thing. And long story short, he ended up taking her to our Christmas party. I did not find out until I was putting my dress on. My friend called me and she was like, hey, I was like, I'm on my way. Just got to spruce my hair up, whatever. She was like, well, I just want you to know he's going to be there. I was like, who's he? And she said, Ernie, because everybody calls him Ernie. And I was like, I'm not going. I was so upset, but I was like, okay, let me go, whatever. And we get there and he's sitting right there. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So Lovey kind of likes to talk more than I do. And first of all, I already wasn't feeling the whole mix up or setup. And he kept talking to me. And I was like, I wish he stopped talking to me because I'm not trying to, like.
She ain't lying. she would get up, walk away, go talk to people at other tables. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. See, okay, so here's some common ties. Because at that time, I was going to UC Davis. Where you
UCD, go Ags.
And so I just got out of the service. So I was going to UCD full time. I was working 3 jobs. And I was working at Home Depot. I was working at, so basically my big auntie, she was like my mom's best friend. She was like, look, you just need to just come with me to this party and you need to get out of the house. Your mama watch the baby. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got this. So that's how I got out. So I was happy to talk to anybody at that point that had nothing to do with school.
He just trying to say that, but he saw me and he was like, okay, that's her.
Again, she ain't lying. And long story short, though, to speed this up, so she didn't like me. She told everybody I was a nerd. I was not her type.
I didn't tell everybody.
She told a lot of people.
I didn't
just everybody that I knew.
Right. Everybody that I came in contact with.
Right. So there was a series of things that took place, and she didn't like me that night. I knew. I called my cousin and said I found the one. And then my grandparents were having their 50th anniversary, and I was emceeing. So our friends invited her. And so she got to see me in my MC status.
No, that's not how it happened at all. So I'll go ahead and let you tell me. Okay, so when we were leaving the party, my coworker, his big auntie, it was like she made us sit down and she goes, okay, so did you guys exchange information? I said no. He said no. So she just kind of gave us the mama look, like exchange information. And there you go. There you go. That was the exact look. He gave me his card. I gave him my card. And then a few days later, he called and we talked. And I was like, okay, he seems nice, And we talked a couple more times. He invited me to come to the birthday, not the birthday, but the anniversary party. And I was like, okay, maybe, And Christmas Eve, that was the day before Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, my friend was having a party at her house. And I was like, okay, I asked her, I said, well, can I invite him just so we could see if there's more chemistry? She said, yeah. So Lovey came. We sat down in the formal area and we talked for 3 hours. And after that, when it was time to go, I was like, oh, if he would have said, let's get married, I would have said, okay, let's go. Because I knew, I was like, oh, we finna get married. I'm finna go get my dress right now. So that was it.
So that timeline went from we met on December 16th,
Till
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, I'm ready for the proposal.
Wow.
Hey, all I gotta say is nerds got game.
Game. You know what I'm saying? Game. What?
I can't even disagree.
That's all you did 1 week. So first off, there's a lot of things said in there, but want to say thank you for your service and thank you for your persistence in going after Snooks. Well done. But in the time that y'all first met at that party, right, and she was walking away, possibly, to now, what is maybe the biggest lesson y'all have learned about each other, just as people, as married couples?
Oh man, there's so much land, or we traversed a lot of land. I got stabbed by her ex, had 2 of her surgeries. She asked for a divorce. Year 4.
So, hold on, Lovey.
You
can't. And you know, I read the thing on the website, so like I knew that, but it's still like you can't just zoom over. You got stabbed by the ex. I feel like there needs to be at least a sprinkle of context inside of that.
Okay, so he had been out of the picture for over a year. All of a sudden, it's like he started trying to come around, calling, showing up at my job and whatever. And I'm like, go away, leave me alone, blah, 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 what have you. And it became to where he like started stalking me. So when Lovey and we got engaged, actually before we got engaged, he was just like very persistent. Lovey and I went out and I was like, look, I think we should just break up. And he was like, for what? And I told him, having problems, he keeps bothering me, blah, 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 whatever. Mind you, I went to get a restraining order. And they told me that the restraining order was not granted because during the course of our relationship, there had not been like any abuse or anything like that. No one said I should have filed like a harassment type of, I didn't know anything about that. This was not until like after the fact. But he showed up at my job with a wedding ring, like out of the blue. I turned around and he's there. It was almost like a fatal attraction kind of thing.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is not cool. That's when I went and applied for the restraining order, didn't get it, tried to break up with him because my whole thing was I do not want an altercation. I don't want him, any type of violence or anything like that happening. Not the day after, we got engaged on Tuesday. Sunday, he showed up at church out of the blue. He saw the ring. He was like, I was like, I'm engaged. He lost it. He went on about his way, but he kept calling me. Lovey and I went on, did our thing. He shows up at my house. It was much later that evening. My cousin was living with me. And when he rang the doorbell, no, I don't even think he rang the doorbell.
Can you get the synopsis?
That's what happened. So, okay, anyway, he came in the house. He got in the house. I knew it was him, so I was like trying to get him out of the house. He got physical with me. Lovey came around the corner, and then they started fighting. We tried to break him up, and then the next thing I know, Lovey was like, I think he cut me. I turned the light on. There's blood everywhere. I turned and saw that he had a knife in his hand. We had to call the ambulance. It was just crazy.
Oddly enough, I ended up at UCD Hospital.
Again, go Ags. Look, saving lives left and right.
Right. And the first procedure was to save my life. And then I had an amazing ICU nurse that just did not like the way I was presenting. And she went over the attending cardiologist's head, went to the chief of cardiology for UCD and said, I need you to take a look at this guy. And they found out. So he ordered tests that the attending cardiologist refused to run. And come to find out, there was a shunt on the backside of my heart, or a hole. Wow. And it's like if you take a balloon that has like a little pinprick in it and put it underwater, and you can see that. That's what my heart looked like, where you had blood shooting out the back of my heart. And so they had to go. I had to heal well enough for them to go back in and do the second surgery
45 days later.
and actually it was 52 days later.
Oh, my bad.
And it was good. It was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, only because it's one of those things where it's life affirming, if nothing else. But my relationship with my creator, with God, has never been better since then. But it puts things in perspective. I don't really sweat the small stuff because it really don't matter.
Right.
I sweat the small stuff when it's her being late to an event.
I can relate. Let me not get in trouble on here. Let me not get in trouble on here. But I think that is the perfect, I guess, story on married into crazy, right? When I'm looking at that, and I'm a very visual person, I'm seeing that scene. I'm seeing the Fatal Attraction movie, or the Perfect Guy type movie, and then the happy love ending at the end on Married into Crazy. So I do, if we can, shift into talking about how you went from getting stabbed in the kitchen to now I have a beautiful, strong marriage, and I'm helping other people build beautiful, strong marriages. So where did the actual coaching come into play from this beautiful journey?
Well, I think kind of like Lovey said, all of the terrain that we covered. So year 4, I did ask for a divorce. A lot of things transpired from the time that he was stabbed until that point. Well, I won't say transpired, but a lot of things that we did not deal with, and the residual of just everything, the in-laws to the guilt to just, I mean, it's a plethora of things that happen, and feeling alone in my marriage, not feeling like, we're married, but I'm by myself. I was like an outsider looking in. And so from that came I think we just don't need to be together. So we, not knowingly, it's like we created crazy during our healing and our being able to come back together. So for, people think, oh, married into crazy, that's a negative. It's not, because it's actually an acronym. Crazy stands for compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. So once we were able to create that within ourselves, or with each other, honestly, we just kind of went on about life. And when people would hear our story, like, dang, how y'all come back from that? And then see the way that we are, we're not just like, oh yeah, I'm married, and he over there, I mean, this is my dude right here. We have fun together. We play around. We're just like, we're dating still, we really, really love each other. It's genuine and it's real. So when they see that, and when, people will talk to us, I'm like, dude, I understand where you're coming from. They're like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, but let me tell you what happened to us. Like, if we could come back from, because I was like,
she was out. I was out the door. She kicked me out. Not kicked me out, but it was one of those situations where, I mean, I literally had a U-Haul, I had an apartment that I had put a deposit on, moving out. And if the circumstances hadn't changed, if God didn't intervene and say the day before I was supposed to move out, like her job just shut down. She lost her job. Like the whole company shut down.
Yeah. Wow. I got laid off. My whole division was laid off. And I called him and I was like, hey, just letting you know, I got laid off. And so, and this, when I say this is the guy, I'm like, this is really the guy, because I feel like a lot of men would have been like, oh, well, this is your decision. You just, handle it however you're going to handle it. Lovey said, all right, well, I'm going to call the apartment and I'm going to cancel it. I'll cancel the U-Haul. I'm so stuck, and no, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, wait a minute, I can afford to pay the rent here by myself. I'm going to get unemployment, blah, 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 whatever. He said, no, I'm going to make sure that my family is taken care of. Once you get back on your feet, then we'll make the decision about what we're going to do. So after that, it was I won't say it was a no-brainer, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't never looked for a job so hard in my life. I was like, I'm ready to go. But in that time, it was talking about dealing with past hurts and just all of the things that we never dealt with. It just came slapping me in my face, back and forth, back and forth. and we learned how to communicate better. We learned how to talk better because we thought that we were communicating. We were communicating, wasn't just very effective. And that was we learned the difference between communication and effective communication, and how to deal with each other, deal with, not walk around and go around. So it was just so many things that I felt like we learned within that time. It was so painful and it was so hard, but I I'm so thankful. Obviously, I'm not thankful that he was hurt, and I'm not thankful that I said those words to him, because I'm gonna tell you, I look back. We always reference it as year 4. That was the incident. It was year 4. That was the pivotal point in our relationship. Not the stabbing, but when I asked for a divorce. I remember you want to do your spiel like you always like to do about Morton.
Okay, so we were celebrating. I was celebrating our 4-year anniversary at Morton's with my wife, and somewhere between the cream spinach and the loaded baked potato, she looked across the table and said, "I want a divorce."
They were at the anniversary dinner.
It was on our 4-year anniversary.
Morton's. Now, had we been at McDonald's, I would have thought, okay, I might deserve this, but we're at Morton's. I'm like, you can tell me this,
All the
before,
way here.
right? That part, and I gotta pay the check.
Okay,
we gonna split this, right?
Right. We immediately going Dutch on this one.
Immediately.
So, but when I think back to that, I always think back at the look on his face and what happened, and the expression that he had. I can never forget that. That just makes me think about, when one of the lessons that we learned: be careful of what you say, mind what you say to your spouse, to your partner, because you can never take those words back. You may be able to get past it, but the look of hurt will always be in my head. And like I said, I don't regret the road that we went on. I do regret the pain that I caused, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does 100%. And I think energy, get to nerd out a little bit, because that's what we do over here, right? Energy cannot be, was it created or destroyed, right? So the words that you say, the actions, the emotions, like all of that is energy. And once it's put out there, it lives in the fabric of the marriage. So I love that piece on being intentional about what energy you're putting into your marriage. Queen.
Yeah, so you mentioned the acronym for CRAZY. And first of all, I love that. That's amazing.
Right.
And obviously fits perfectly with your brand. But what is the CRAZY method, right? How does that transform into a method that you can use, within a marriage?
Right. So when you take a look at the acronym itself, being compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding within your relationship, regardless of what situation, I don't care if we're talking about finances. I don't care if we're talking about your intimacy, communication, parenting, every single thing. What we've discovered is that every situation, and it's not about dealing with her or him. It's about dealing with the situation, right? And in every situation, we can be more compassionate. In every situation, we can be more real. And being more real, it's not about keeping it real, keeping it 100. It's really about really addressing the reality of what's going on, and not something that we've created in our minds. And then it's about accountability. And accountable doesn't mean I'm going to hold you to your word. A lot of accountability comes back to I'm going to be who I said I'm going to be. I need to like the person that's looking back at me at the mirror. But I also am giving you license to point out when I'm not being true or authentic to who I said I'm going to be in support of our relationship. And the zealousness comes back to the joy, having that love, that zeal for your relationship. Because so many times in relationships, particularly marriage, it could be month 6, it could be the 6th year, it could be your 16th year. People always talk about having a loss of love, or a loss of that spark, or what have you.
Yeah.
Be as zealous for your relationship and
you're in the beginning.
Amen. Yeah. And it's one of those things that, we try and talk about refinding that joy. And that joy is found on a daily, almost on an hour by hour basis, just truly enjoying each other. And then the last thing is yielding. You got to yield, and it's so funny. fellas have a tendency to really want to take it to the Bible. So the Bible said,
obey, obey, and submit.
Come on. But the thing about submission is when people quote Ephesians, they don't want to read the whole scripture. They just want to read the part about what the woman's supposed to do.
That's right.
But come on, fellas. Look, here's the thing. It's about submitting to each other. And that's what we talk about. Because truth be told, they say that the man is the head of the household and all that. But I'm gonna tell you this, that there's certain situations. I think it's more like when the Olympics just passed. When you watch the Olympics, if you watch the cycling portion of it, there's a thing called drafting. Right, the person with the strongest legs goes to the front, so that way you can draft out that individual, recover your legs, and then they do it in NASCAR. They do it in all these different things. You should do that in your relationship as well. In our relationship, we just refinanced our home. When it comes to the numbers, because she used to be in the mortgage industry for 20 plus years, when it comes to crossing the T's, dotting the I's, that's not my strength. So I yield, and I'm like, babe, hey, take the lead, do your thing. Because when I start talking numbers, my eyes gloss over. And but when it comes to dealing with sales individuals or the conversation piece, or they need a mouthpiece for the family, that's my role. If there's chaos or something to where she wilts in those areas where I don't want to really deal with that, that's where I step up. So we yield to each other's strengths.
Yeah, literally. I want to say a reflection, but I feel like that's how we operate as well.
Exactly.
And we can talk about disc if y'all want to, but I'm a high I. She's a
I see.
Amazing high C. So that's where, I'm able to step back on details. I'm like, I'm good. Sinclair, can you do these invoices? Can you do X, Y, Z? Because I'm just like, that's not giving me energy.
Statements.
Yeah, financial statements. Oh, I'm just like, Sinclair, can you please do this? But then when it comes to Devon, I need you to outreach to people to get on the podcast. I need you to call so-and-so because I have a question. I'm like, yeah, I can call anybody. Like, let's do this. So I don't know if y'all want to talk about the disc and kind of how that is used even throughout your coaching or love languages, but just the importance of knowing each other's, I guess, personalities and strengths.
Styles,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge part of what we do. So we're both extreme execution certified coaches with ET. I was trained by E directly, and then Snooks was also trained by Mustafa, who's like the disc doctor, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, CB, well, that was beforehand. Okay. And she was talking about CB, who's another gentleman that's here locally that we really, CB and I were trained, the two of us, directly by ET at the same time. And then she don't listen to me, so I had CB talk to her. But we're both certified. And one thing,
Lovey's mean to me, y'all. I'm just gonna say, you know that I'm sure everybody saw The Color Purple when Suge was talking to Celie, and she was talking about she was in the room, and Celie told Suge, he beat me when you're not here. Lovey be doing that to me when nobody's looking. So
don't put that out there. Do not put that out
that
there.
energy's out there now.
Look, I'm light skinned. I be waking up with bruises. So I don't know what she
ever.
No, but I will say this: this is a huge part of what we do. Waking up with bruises in my back, like
dreaming about.
No, but we use it. So for all of our couples, every couple that we coach and that we deal with in our business, first and foremost, they do disc. I'm a high D, high I. She's high C, high S. And so we fit each other. We fit well. It's almost like we complete. This relationship is a whole person.
Yeah.
Love that.
And we do that with all of our couples. And then we're also Gottman. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gottman method. Gottman couples therapy method. John and Julie Gottman are the world's foremost relationship experts, and we're level 1 certified with them and in the process of completing our level 2 certification. So there's another assessment that we use with them. It's called a relationship checkup. But we believe in assessing and knowing who you are and where you are in your relationship, because otherwise you just don't know what you're going to do. And DISC is a huge part of that. I utilize it in my 9 to 5 all the time. I've taken full on medical offices through DISC as well, so that they can operate better. And it just helps me kind of sharpen my sword that much more. So when we deal with couples, we help them recognize each other. Because if you don't know yourself, how are you going to contribute to a partnership?
Right.
Love it.
Love it. So if you're watching this, right, where can folks find you all if they want to get married couple, if they want to listen to your podcast? Where should they find you?
So for to find us online, we're at marriedintocrazy.com. We are also, so our podcast, you can get on our podcast there too, but there's different tabs where you click for, whatever information you're looking for our podcast.
Mhm.
We are on iTunes, we are on Pandora, we're on
Amazon Music. It's every major venue that you're looking for,
Spotify.
and we're in 33 different countries. It's just a matter of just look for Married into Crazy with Snooks and Levy. If you type in Married into Crazy, we own that. We got the trademark on it. So everything you do, you're going to find us in some way, shape, or form, as well as YouTube. But we're trying to get our YouTube game to step up like yours.
Because now I'm so hecka jealous. I got my pad out. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dancing on there.
Listen, we're going to talk. We got you. We're going to talk. But if you're watching live, definitely make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And y'all can ask questions in the comments. So if you're watching on YouTube and you have a question, go ahead and type it inside of the live chat. And y'all can get some good interaction with these amazing married coaches on here. Now, while folks, maybe think about what type of things they want to put in there, I saw an episode on the 4 flavors of marriage, and we're foodies. The queen is an uncertified but delicious chef, right? So that spoke to my soul personally. Can y'all talk about those 4 flavors of marriage and which one you like the most?
That's a great question. It's funny. It's a great segue coming from DISC, because what we've done is, so in the Yoruban culture in West Africa, right? Give them this pride. So, but in West Africa, there are certain traditions that are carried over. Like when we got married, we jumped the broom. And there's other things. There's actually the 4 flavors. I should say the 4 tastes of marriage, where you incorporate these different aspects throughout life. Right? There's bitterness, there's sweetness,
there's spicy, and there's a sour.
And so we use those 4 also to cover DISC. It's our own spin. So when you look at the D is that sour. The I in DISC is going to be that spicy.
She said,
right? So the sweet is going to be the S, and then the C is going to be the bitter. And we talk about how the best things that we taste, and we go to, when you go to a restaurant, it just melts in your mouth and you're like, oh my God, I can taste all these different things. It's because it's an incorporation of all the flavors. Same thing when it comes to our relationships. There's a little bit of all this. So I say that the D is the sour, because a lot of times we can create a sour taste for some individuals because we just like to get there, get it done, keep it moving.
Just bulldoze over everybody. So.
And there's some sour traits to that, right? It can leave a bit of a sourness. They're like, oh, that person, they always turn up there like, okay, he's kind of mean or whatever. But it's they're very focused. But when you're looking at the eye's spicy. Like, the eyes likes to spice it up wherever they go. They're the life of the party.
We're the life of the party. That's how we do.
And that labor. Look, and then when you look at the S, though, the S is all about that support. It's all about that sweetness. They're making sure that everyone's there. So sweetness appeals to everyone. It's the one flavor that everyone is attracted to. You may not have like a major sweet tooth, but it's the sweetness of life that everybody is attracted to. And then the last thing is that bitterness. And when it comes to looking at numbers, being detail oriented, it can be a little bit bitter.
We don't. It's a thing. It's a thing. We're either the turtle or the.
Well, what was the explanation for bitter? It sounds negative when you think of the word bitter, but I didn't hear your actual breakdown.
Well, see, people forget that dark chocolate, which is extremely good for you and heart healthy, is considered bitter.
Sure.
The more you get, when you get the cacao, and the more you get that 98% that the doctors are saying you need this in your life. Look, you need bitterness in your life as well. And then you have bitters that go in certain foods, right? There's certain drinks, cocktails that, they add bitters. There's things in life that you don't think you need. People don't think they need structure, but you do.
That's a good one.
And so same thing when it comes to bitter. And when we're able to explain it and kind of point it out to everyone, they're like, oh yeah, okay, we do. It's not a negative connotation. Just like crazy is not a negative connotation. There's a specific meaning for it as well.
Yeah, you might need to break that down for me. I think crazy is always negative, not in your acronym, but break down when
society,
crazy.
like when you say crazy, I feel like it normally does have the negative.
Right.
So, but like, when I'm like the crazy person in the family. Like I do stuff and they be like, girl, you are so crazy. I know they don't mean it in a bad way, but it makes people laugh. Martin Lawrence, when I think of Martin Lawrence, you so crazy,
Yeah,
so I mean, so it can be like, oh my God, that was so, there's like something that you can't explain. That's crazy, and then you do just have regular old plain, no, they're
5150.
crazy.
Yeah, Prince, one of his greatest hits was "Let's Go Crazy." So
crazy.
it's just, there's connotations for everything, but it's all about perspective.
Gotcha. Okay, you've converted me. I believe it now. Okay, well, I was like, no, but yeah, that does make sense. So which flavor or taste is your favorite? And I understand that there's moods and situations for each, but on the regular, which flavor you like? You know what? Spicy's my go-to, or you know what? I love some sourness.
Mine is sour because lemon is like at my absolute favorite, and it's funny that it's sour because it's associated with the D.
And so for me, for me, it's spicy. I love spice. I love the when you put some heat to it. It's a turn up. Like one of the things that got me for Christmas was some cacao with
a spicy jalapeno
with some pepper to it as well, and I love that combination. But in just about everything that we do, I like it spicy. We go to Chick-fil-A. It's like, you want the regular chicken sandwich or you want the spicy deluxe? I want the spicy deluxe.
Right. Every time. Queen, you got something? You look like you were percolating over there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, you talked about kind of the DISC assessment and other things, kind of activities and things assessments that folks can do as a married couple. But what's another activity or something that you recommend that every married couple do to strengthen their relationship?
For me, have fun, enjoy each other. I think sometimes when we say I do, for whatever reasons, we lose our license to silliness. We laugh a lot. I mean, it's just our own, sometimes, the inside jokes or whatever. We'll be out somewhere, certain look, he knows what I'm thinking, I know what he's thinking, and we'll laugh. And then that's conversation for when we get back in the car later on our way home. We really, really enjoy each other. We don't take ourselves so seriously anymore, but we make sure that we have fun together.
So, I think everybody's go-to, and anybody that's listening right now, their first thought was like, oh, they're going to say date night. I mean, yeah, go out on dates, but I'm not a fan of like date night, because it's one of those things that you make it a thing. It should be about just having a friendship. And I think that if you seek on a daily basis to become better friends with your spouse, you're going to enjoy life that much more. So I really seek out to be each other's best friend before anything else. That's the activity, whatever that may be. It could be date day, date weekend. Call it what you want. But the bottom line is, you're supposed to try and see how you can actually serve each other and laugh with each other and be there for each other. And that's what adds a spice to your relationship.
Yep, I love that, because at the end of the day, like 50 years from now, 60 years from now, y'all are just going to be amazing, beautiful, wrinkled friends. I feel like that's okay, right? To learn each other's friendship and grow in that. So,
for real, because we're gonna be sitting somewhere in a cafe in Italy or whatever, laughing at folks. People watching, and be like, just whatever. And I don't even care. Look, I might be like, I always have this thing that when I turn 80, like right now, my give a damn quotient is extremely low. And I can imagine what it's going to be when I'm 80, because I'm going to be walking around wearing some Nikes, and that's about it.
Wow.
Oh no, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I just because I don't care, because I want to see. Okay, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I'm not gonna be walking with him if he doing that.
I'll be like, I'm 80. What are you gonna do? No, but just having fun, just daring people to live. Look, when I show up and I'm face to face with my maker, I want to look like that car that has got Bondo and duct tape and all that. And he's gonna look at us and be like, "Yo, hey, what I gave you guys, y'all stretched it. Y'all really sat there and lived that life. Y'all, I want God to be like, y'all did the damn thing."
I like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Time, and I'm sorry.
Hey, yeah, keep them in line, Snooks. All right, keep them in line now. But yeah, I do like that analogy of when you do, go off to glory, you meet your mate, whatever you believe in, that they obviously have a reflection of your life. They're like, you did everything you were supposed to and more, right? So live your life. But I love that. Queen, did you have something? You looking at me?
Because you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
But I was just really thinking about, I love the just work to be better friends, because I feel like I hear I feel like my family always makes fun of us because they're like, y'all are always together, you do everything together, y'all ever separate? And it's just I mean, yes, obviously we do things separately. He goes out and plays basketball, hanging out with his friends or whatever. But I feel like at the end of the day, we want to be around each other. It's just he's my best friend. So it's I want to go. If I go to the grocery store, of course, go to the grocery store by myself, bring my best friend. I'm gonna choose to bring my best friend anywhere.
It's more inappropriate when I'm there. I'll tell you that. There's something about the grocery store. I don't know what it is.
It gets you going.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's always fun.
It's the way I dance in the aisles.
Can I throw out a challenge to you?
Oh yeah,
please.
Because she got mad at me. This is about maybe 7-8 years ago. She doesn't let me go to the store with her.
Absolutely not.
So
whoa, she got so absolutely not.
Well, because one, I'm like, look, why are you buying that? We just need to hurry get out.
Absolutely not.
We were in Costco. No, I'm sorry, we were in Walmart, and so we got separated. And I was trying to call her, and she wouldn't pick up the phone. So
nope.
Nope. So my challenge to you is to do this. I'm walking through Walmart, yelling Marco.
Yep.
And trying to get her to say Polo, and she actually started playing.
Nice.
She recognized my voice
because he wouldn't stop. I was like, Lovey, why are you doing that? Stop doing that.
And I'm walking around. People I don't even know. Have you seen my wife, Marco? Just having fun. Have fun with it, folks. Look, we have one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You said I do, and you took this person to be your lawfully wedded wife, husband, whatever, and enjoy that. Enjoy it. And it's not about living your life for everybody else and what they're going to think, what they're going to say. Who cares? Live your life for each other, because when it's all said and done, this is it. So I'm going to enjoy it to the hilt, and I choose to enjoy it with her.
He doesn't have a choice. I'm not going nowhere. So
now, year 4.
That was 20 years ago. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. Oh,
exactly.
We were talking about before we went live, the dancing and going to the club. Inside of the grocery store, I'm the one that's like, hey baby, let's go ahead and dance in here. And she'll be dancing by herself. I'd be like, okay, let's go. We're dancing, let's go. Yep. So yeah, we have fun in the grocery store for sure.
We have fun everywhere. We're known to just stop and do a little slow dance wherever.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna do that. Okay. We're gonna stop and slow dance.
She's competitive. So every time you say something,
I'm like, I got my pen and my paper. Don't play.
But to your point about the shopping, okay, so I do like taking him to the grocery store, but I am slowly learning that any other type of shopping, that's my time.
There you go.
I understand you there. So we just went to Costa Rica. And we went to Walmart, and I really just needed a bag and, some rain boots, because he forgot to tell me we were going to go hiking till the day before. It's another podcast, but we needed just a few things. I had my list, and even that, I was like, but they have some cute swimsuits. I'm just going to go over here. He was like, why do you need to go over there? He's like, but this is why I planned to go to Target or Walmart, wherever we were, and just kind of peruse around. He's like, we have a list. I was like, okay, this is why I don't take you shopping because I just want to peruse. So
perusing leads to emotional buying decisions.
So we're just going to have shopping be our thing that we do.
Okay, you know it's bad. It's time for an intervention when the high I is saying stick to the list.
Right. Thank you.
It's really not that bad. I'm not that person. Come on. I don't really be shopping like
not that bad.
Come on.
So thank you for tuning in to the True Forever podcast.
Don't do me like that.
Oh man, no, you're not a shopaholic like that. I'll give you that, Queen.
Thank you.
But if you are tuning in, right, so we do have Lovey and Snooks on here, marriage coaches and the host of the Married Into Crazy podcast. You can go ahead and visit marriedintocrazy.com if you would like to learn more, listen, support, strengthen your own marriage, or just tune in to the craziness because it is entertainment. So any kind of parting words, and I feel like we didn't get into everything that we wanted to in this episode. Happy to have y'all come back again, but any kind of parting words or advice you might have for married couples or people considering getting married, what would be your wisdom for them?
Keep the main thing, which is always love. Anything that you do with love at the forefront is going to be good. It doesn't mean you're going to like it, but keep love at the forefront and keep it the main thing. And if you focus on love and know that you're in it for the relationship, everything else is going to work out. But as long as you are focused on that love, because your auntie, your granny, your cousins, everybody's going to be down for you individually, right? So Devon's got folks that are down for him, and Sinclair's got stuff that's her girls are down for her. Surround yourself with some people that are down for your marriage, that are down for both of you, because your tribe is going to be the most important thing when it's time for support. And it can't be like, I told you I didn't like her, or there's always something about him. No, you need somebody that's going to stand up and be like, no, you two need to come here, both of you, sit down, and we're going to figure this out about your marriage, barring abuse. But you need folks around you that are about your love together, your collective love, and that's going to be there for the both of you.
Yeah. And just kind of piggybacking off of what Lovey just said, there will be some shifts and some changes in your other relationships. And there will be people who do not understand that. Wait, what do you mean you can't do this? Or why are you how come you always got to serve him? Or, there are certain things, that will happen in your marriage that other people will object to, but it's your marriage. And if it's working for you, everyone doesn't deserve a seat in your front row. It doesn't matter how long you've all been in association or how family members, you might have to cut some of them out, because this right here, this relationship, this is what's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's why we say that in our vows. And, for people who may not have the relationship with the Creator that we have, this is the most sacred relationship that you will ever have, because we chose each other. My kids didn't choose me. They're a byproduct of what I chose. So just make sure that you cherish each other.
Love that. There's a Chance the Rapper, the great one, has a song where he says, I don't want anyone at my wedding that won't be there for my marriage.
That's
Amen.
Right.
I love that lyric.
It's a great bar in there. I think it ties into what you said. So love that, Queen. Anything you wanna say at the end?
No, I loved everything. I feel like it was like I like having these types of conversations because it makes us, obviously we're gonna have probably a whole nother conversation after this podcast about
100%.
how are we gonna keep the spark? What are we gonna do differently? What are we gonna do? So we're probably gonna do something.
You see how she imitates me? That was my voice right there.
That's you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I definitely would love to have y'all back. This was good conversations. I thank you for all the wisdom. We definitely I like hearing real stories. I like hearing the real of, it's not going to be easy. This is what it's going to happen, throughout the marriage. And this is how you get through it. I love the realness. I love the candidness. I love the, being an open book and being able to share all of your wisdom with us. So I'm excited to take these nuggets and apply them to our own marriage. And excited for all of you watching who will hopefully take that and, you know, apply it to your own partnership, your marriage, your relationship, your friendship, whatever, you know, whatever relationships you can apply these nuggets to.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So we are about to do a little weekly update. Happy to have y'all stick around either on screen or in the background for it. It'll be like maybe 2-3 minutes, and then we'll be on out of here. All right. But again, definitely tune into the Married into Crazy podcast and go ahead and head to their website. Queen, before we let the amazing podcast listeners go, any updates you would like to share about your week, about your life, about your eyes of the galaxy?
We're gonna talk about that. I just want to know what you see. You know?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that conversation.
But no, this week I think for me was pretty good. It was really productive, and so I do want to give a thank you to you, King, for keeping me on with the to-do list. So we started a thing where we have office hours. Did we talk about that in the last podcast?
We did talk about it, and that's actually something I got from. On the call, you go by Uncle Ernie. Something I got from Uncle Ernie and someone else. They were like, you know, in your business, have hours, right? It can be hard to separate the marriage from the business. So you should have specific business hours. That way it's not 11 p.m. and you're like, so tomorrow on the podcast, we're going to, which I can definitely do. So that's been, don't laugh at me, Snooks. Look, listen.
She's laughing because that's her rule. I was
really?
sharing what she implemented.
I was like, babe, come on. Can we?
Listen.
I've tried in the past, so I'm just happy that it came from somebody else. And that I would be like on Saturday, like, okay, so how much work you got to do? When are you going to be done? You'd be like, oh, I don't know. We're just 8 o'clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on.
She ain't lying, y'all. So thank you, Snooks, for bringing it up. And thank you, Ernie, for bringing it up on the call. We have implemented office hours, and I've had to catch myself a few times, but overall, it's been pretty good. So, Queen, you want to say what the hours are?
Yeah. So for us, and it does include like our 9 to 5 in terms of like, there are hours that we are allowed to be discussing or doing anything work related. So for us, it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So yeah, every morning around 8 a.m.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, and then 9 to 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
9 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, I think it'll be good to hold us accountable. But yeah, so we did that. And then also every morning around 8 a.m., he'll send me like my debrief. And I love that it's not just like things that you need for me to do. It's like, you know, my goals, you know, the things that I want to do. So includes things, he's just very good at like holding me accountable at what I need to be doing. So I appreciate getting that text every day of like, okay, yeah, this is actually exactly what I need to be doing. Thank you. And then, you know, just doing that. So yes, I appreciate that. I've conquered most of my to-do lists every day. So I feel good. I feel accomplished. But one thing I do want to announce here is that
talk to him. Talk to him.
So during one of the things he's been helping me with, and we've mentioned a few times that, you know, I am an aspiring health coach. And so I'm going to officially be launching, starting my sessions. So throughout the month of September, I'm going to be offering free 30-minute coaching sessions to anybody that wants to just get a little taste. There's no commitment or anything. I really just want to test the waters and get a sense for what people are looking for in a health coach, so I can, you know, continue to build my program. And yeah, just start my journey. So definitely head to the True Health Forever website. It'll be on all of our socials as well when we officially launch next week. And you're able to book your sessions 100% free. And I'll just give you some recommendations, on what you can do, little habits, right? There are going to be bite-sized, things. I'm not going to tell you to go vegan tomorrow, because that's just not realistic. So little things, little habits that we've, that have worked for us, and little habits that I've, heard other folks implement into their lives that work for them. So excited for that.
Oh, yes, Queen. Well done. I'm excited for you. Proud of you. Well done. Do your thing. For me, it's also been a good week. You mind grabbing that for me, please?
The book?
Yes, please. So I think not that one. The other one. I got too many books for my own good.
Book.
Yes.
One.
So first off, a lot of good things. We have some things going on, but I'm trying to segment them. But I've been working on a little children's book with one of my frat brothers, TJ Taylor, much appreciated. So we got this proof that just got finished. It is the adventures, Black history adventures of Rose and Rodney, and they're going to Greenwood, Black Wall Street. So for the folks listening, y'all probably know we created Black Wall Street, the board game. The masterpiece editions are finally here. They're going to be shipping out next week, but it's really for 8 and up. And we were trying to figure out how can we still teach the younger, the baby babies about Black Wall Street and start planting those little seeds about ownership, history, strong family dynamic, a brother and sister sibling relationship. Don't know why I pointed at you when I did that, but brother and sister relationship. So yeah, Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney. This will be dropping September 26th, which is Walter Anthony Robinson's birthday. R.I.P. to the king, to the legend, and I dedicated this book to Walter Anthony Robinson. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. All right, so excited about that. Queen.
Yes.
Anything else before we get on out of here?
No.
No? Good to go?
Good to go.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you, Lovey and Stooks, for coming through and dropping your wisdom. Again, head to marriedintocrazy.com to support and strengthen your own marriage. But we appreciate y'all tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel. There you go, Slants. I see you through the lens. I'm the host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the
Health Nerd. We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.